Hey guys, Michael here. This is my review of the ZTE Valet. So here we go. Gonna turn it on. It was just in sleep mode. When you turn it on completely from shutdown, it takes about a whole minute, which is kind of long. Anyway, now I'm in the interface here. Some of the things I like about the phone is the search feature here. Oops. Alright, this comes standard on all Android phones anyway, all the newer ones. So I'm going to use it real quick. Skyward Sword IGN walkthrough. Look at that. It heard me perfectly. And capitalized IGN. And as you can see, it loaded up pretty fast. So it's great for surfing the web. Right now I have AdBlock currently installed, so any ads or videos on the sites will be canceled by that, which is nice. And AdBlock only uses about 2% of the processing power at all times. And yeah, one bad part about installing AdBlock is it has a proxy, some proxy settings that need to be set. And after you set AdBlock up, if you have it closed, you won't be able to surf the web on the phone. But I do recommend it because if you're like at the store, like not at your house, or using your Wi-Fi and you need to look something up, AdBlock will cancel out the video ads on the screen and all that other ad junk that's just going to like max out your bandwidth. I mean, your data. Yeah, there we go. No point in using data you don't want to on ads. So we're gonna go over to Task Manager. So here's all the apps I have running and all that. Hit the Resources tab. Sometimes this doesn't load properly, but right now it is. So right now it says I'm using 3%, which is pretty good. When you after you've installed a few apps, it will be using around, I don't know, 59, maybe 90% of the processor. Especially if you installed an antivirus, the antivirus will make it run at 90% all the time. So I just had to take that off. RAM I haven't maxed out yet, but anyway, one thing I like to do is I go into here, the Tasks tab at the top left, go here and hit Close All, and that makes the phone run way faster. So as you can see, I can scroll through everything real quick, and I'm just going to open AdBlock again because it closes that off, and I want to be able to surf the web, so gotta have that open. Yep, there we go. Show off the gaming performance real quick. Open Angry Birds, most generic Android game out there, pretty much. Oops. Oh, messed up already. Sorry, it's not coming in very clear. Trying to get it to focus. Unfortunately, this camera doesn't have like any focus settings, as far as I know. It just focuses when it wants to. Alright, so it runs Angry Birds fairly well. Some other games I installed were Heroes of Dragon Age, and that game runs horribly. It runs at like 5 FPS. And I also installed GT Racing 2, and that game runs at about 15 FPS, so not very good either. 30 is what is considered playable. I also installed some emulators. My Boy Free, which is a Game Boy Advance emulator, SNES 9X EX Plus, and Super N64. These are all free emulators, and they all run fairly well, including the N64 one. You can actually play Mario 64 with minimal stutter. There is some stutter there, but I mean, it's not horrible. It's definitely playable. And Game Boy Advance and Super Nintendo run extremely well for at least the games I tried with it. Another thing the phone can do is YouTube, obviously, but in my opinion, it doesn't do it extremely well, but it works. There's a little bit of choppiness to it, but I mean, it's definitely viewable. So I'm watching a Screw Tech video at the moment. Sorry, my hand's shaking. Been holding this camera for a while. This is like my 10th take or something. One thing that's neat about the YouTube app here is you can have the video. When you open a video, it runs up here to start out with. You can drag it down over here, and you can search through other videos as you're watching a video. That's a really neat feature. And then you can full screen it by hitting that. So I'm going to exit out of that. And overall, it's just a very low-end phone, not capable of doing a whole lot, but I mean, just get you into the door, to get you using Android for the first time, because most people getting this phone will probably be using it for the first time, since it's Tracfone, and this is Tracfone's first, one of their first 4 Android devices. So I highly recommend it, especially for $80 with the service and all the things you can get with that. And how this phone only costs $20 a month, or $40 for every 3 months, opposed to a $60 plan every month. This is a steal, in my opinion. I also use well, that's weird. This BTCE stock exchange or whatever, so I can check out my prices real quick, and that opens pretty fast, and that will help me keep track while I'm at like the store or something. And the time on my phone is about to run out. I mean, the time on my camera is about to run out. It stops at 10 minutes. Maps works very well. Google Play works well. I installed the Amazon App Store. The apps for that weren't able to install properly, but anyway. Last thing I'm going to show you guys is the camera quality. So I'm going to stop the video here and show you guys what that's like. This is the video quality. It's not too bad. It's a little jerky, but anyway. The room looks a bit brighter than it is on this video, though. So that's one thing to note. It really needs some pretty good lighting if you want it to come out pretty clear. But this will give you an example, I guess. Alright guys, so here's the photos in low light. I would have preferred to make some in daylight, but ran out of time. But anyway, this first photo is of the flash on. It washes out the colors a bit and is pretty grainy, so it's not that great looking. Second photo is of the outdoors with the flash turned off as the sun is setting, and as you can see, still very grainy. And the last photo is of my computer monitor, which I'm using as like a well-lit environment, and it's not as grainy, it's not super clear, but it looks way better than the other photos, obviously. And so it makes me think that if you're taking photos with this camera in daylight with the flash turned off, it should look pretty decent. So anyway guys, thanks for watching my review.